you say when you think of the tech sector, specifically the chips, you think of champagne. Why is that? I guess it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
So, the way I think about the technology sector is to think about a champagne glass. So it's an old-fashioned flat champagne glass, a coupe, and standing on top of 4 champagne glasses, 9, 16, 25, a pyramid, a champagne tower. You take a very big bottle of champagne, you pour it into the top, it overflows all the way down. Every glass ends up filled. But no, that's nothing like the tech sector. The tech sector is exactly the opposite, because this is an inverted pyramid of champagne glasses. And at the bottom, there are 4 glasses. They're called Lam Research, Applied Materials, Tokyo Electron, and ASML. And they are the companies that make the machines that make the chips, the semiconductors. And they support the entire industry. Above them, the chip makers, Intel, Samsung, TSMC, and so on. Above that are chip designers like ARM, NVIDIA, AMD, and so on. Above that, hardware companies, networking companies, IT services companies, software companies. And on top, an enormous layer of thousands and thousands of champagne glasses. And those are the exciting disruptors, the companies that are using technology in a new way to turn an industry upside down. Now, everybody spends a lot of time running around those disruptors, trying to work out which one to invest in. But actually, there's not a lot of point in doing that, because whatever disruption gets all the money next year, it will use technology, the middle layers. And whatever technology it uses will use semiconductors. And whichever semiconductors are used will be made on machinery produced by those 4 companies at the bottom. There is no way out at the bottom of the pyramid. So rather than focusing technology investing on the top, all the exciting disruptors, most of which will never make money anyway. So all those champagne glasses are broken in the top there, almost all of them, because they will never be profitable. The champagne just runs down the tower, and we focus on the ones at the bottom, because they've got pretty high certainty that they will benefit from whatever comes next. We don't care what the next disruption is, because it will use semiconductors, and they will be made on machinery produced by those 4 people. And that just makes technology investing a lot easier.
William, thank you so much for running us through that analogy. It makes a lot of sense. So I get why you like some of the manufacturers here of the machines. However, I will say that some of them, and we saw that in yesterday's trade once again, they're very much subject to a lot of geopolitical risk. Reports about export controls to China, reports about exemptions to that. How do you factor in that risk?
So if there was serious competition for those equipment makers anywhere near the leading edge, then that would be a concern, because they would be displaced by Chinese competitors. But there is no Chinese alternative. In fact, there's no real alternative to these companies anywhere near the leading edge outside companies based in the US, Japan, and the Netherlands. And those 3 companies completely dominate any advanced production equipment for semiconductors. Now, the world will need semiconductors. They will need chips, whatever happens next. As long as society continues to use more and more technology, and it will continue to do so, we will need more and more semiconductors. They will have to be made on machinery somewhere. And if those chip machines can't be shipped to China, and the Chinese are not allowed to buy them and use them, then they'll be shipped somewhere else. And it's just a displacement around different markets. So you can get disjunction and short-term hiccups, but in the long term, you effectively have certainty that those machines will be bought and they will be used. In fact, the more geopolitics you have, the more disruption you have, the less efficiency you have, the more duplication you have, and you're suddenly selling twice as many tools rather than half as many. But the geopolitics is absolutely fascinating, but in the end, it all comes out in the wash.